Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, why is it that the moment you finally drift off to sleep, the urge to run to the bathroom shows up again? Why is it that your nights, which should be the most peaceful hours of your day, turn into a broken cycle of waking, stumbling, and hoping not to trip in the dark? Be honest with yourself. Has this become your life? Waking up 2, 3, maybe even 5 times before morning? And if you're not the one going through it, maybe it's your mother, your father, your spouse, the person you love most in this world, dragging themselves back and forth from bed to bathroom, night after night, until their mornings are filled with nothing but exhaustion. Let me make a confession. For years I believed this was normal. I thought, this is just aging. This is just how it is. I used to shrug and say, well, better get used to it. But you know what? That lie, that acceptance, was stealing years of rest, years of health, years of dignity. And if you've ever thought the same way, then you've been tricked too. Because here's the truth. Waking up constantly to urinate at night is not just a nuisance. It's not just an inconvenience. It is a danger. Do you know how many elderly people fall, break a hip, or end up in the hospital because of a sleepy midnight trip to the bathroom? Do you know how many lose their independence, not from disease, but from one single fall in the middle of the night? Think about that. One dark hallway, one tired stumble, one fall, that's all it takes. And here's the part that should really sink into your heart. Every time you lose sleep, you're not just tired the next day. Your body suffers, your memory weakens, your blood pressure rises, your heart struggles, your balance slips. Slowly, night after night, piece by piece, this problem chips away at your health, and yet so many people ignore it. They tell themselves, it's just part of getting older. But is it? Or is it a silent thief, stealing away your golden years while you look the other way? Now imagine this. What if you didn't have to accept it? What if I told you that something as ordinary, as familiar, as simple as a kitchen spice, yes, a spice you may already have in your home, could help calm those nightly urges? What if just 60 seconds before bed could make the difference between a restless night and a restful one? Would you try it? Or would you keep on suffering because you've convinced yourself there's no other way? I want you to really let that question sit. Because too many people wait until it's too late. Too many wait until after the fall, after the hospital stay, after the independence is gone. Don't let that be your story. And here's something you need to hear right now. If you're listening to my voice, and you've been dealing with this night after night, and you don't subscribe to Elderly Spring, you're making a choice to stay in the dark. You're saying, I don't want the knowledge, I don't want the tools, I don't want the hope. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you do that to the people who depend on you? If you refuse to subscribe, then I want you to at least go down to the comments and explain why. Tell us why you would rather stay trapped in sleepless nights, while others here in this community are choosing better health. And if you care, even a little, about taking back your nights, then subscribe right now. Don't hesitate, don't wait until tomorrow, because tomorrow could be the night you fall. Tomorrow could be the night your body says enough. But here's the beautiful side of this story. Relief doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be expensive, and it doesn't have to come in the form of another prescription bottle. Sometimes nature already has the answer, and today I'll show you how a spice that you can chew for just 60 seconds before bed could change the way you sleep, the way you wake, and the way you live. And before I reveal that, I need to remind you of something. Down in the description, I've placed a link to the Elderly Spring Sleep Wellness Kit. This isn't just another product. It's a companion to everything we talk about here. It's for people like you who are serious about regaining restful nights and protecting your health. If you're tired of losing sleep, tired of feeling drained, tired of living half a life, then you need to check it out. Because why keep living in frustration when the tools for change are right there waiting? So here's my challenge to you. Stay with me until the very end of this video. Don't skip ahead, don't click away. Because what you'll hear today may be the key to your first full night of rest in years. And I want you to think about this, not just as information, but as a turning point. This could be the moment where your story changes, where instead of dragging through another night, you finally wake up refreshed, safe, and whole. So, are you ready? Because in just a moment, we're going to dive into the real reason you can't stop waking up, and why this simple, almost overlooked spice might just become the most valuable part of your bedtime ritual. Have you ever noticed how one little thing, like waking up at 2 a.m., can ruin your entire next day? Maybe you've seen it happen to yourself. Maybe you've watched your spouse or your parent go through it. You're barely asleep when suddenly you feel the urge. You drag yourself out of bed, shuffle down the hall, and by the time you come back, the sleepiness has escaped you. Now you toss, you turn, you sigh, and when you finally drift back off, your bladder calls again, and again, until the sun peeks through the curtains and you feel like you never really rested. I once spoke with an elderly man who said, "Son, I think I spend more time walking to the bathroom than I do dreaming." He thought it was funny. He thought it was just what happens when you get old. But when I looked in his eyes, I saw the truth. He was tired. He wasn't just laughing about it. He was suffering, and the science backs it up. As you age, your bladder loses some of its holding power. Imagine it like a balloon. When you're younger, the balloon is strong and elastic. It stretches easily and holds plenty. But as the years pass, the balloon becomes stiffer. It holds less. Add to that, the muscles around the bladder weaken, meaning the signal to go comes sooner than it should. And there's another piece: hormones. Your body makes a special hormone at night that tells your kidneys to slow down urine production so you can sleep. But as you get older, your body makes less of it. So instead of the bladder resting overnight, it keeps filling, and it keeps waking you up. Now here's the myth most people believe. That's normal. It's part of aging. Nothing you can do about it. That belief is dangerous. Because while yes, aging changes the body, constant nighttime urination, what doctors call nocturia, is not something you should accept. Every interruption in your sleep chips away at your health. Sleep is when your body heals, when your memory stores, when your immune system strengthens. Lose that, and you lose the foundation of wellness. And the risk is bigger than feeling tired. Think about the moments between your bed and the bathroom, the dark hallway, the rug on the floor, the corner of the furniture. Every midnight trip is a risk of a stumble, a fall, even a fracture. And for older adults, a simple fall can mean the end of independence. That's the cost of ignoring this. So if you've been brushing it off saying, "Well, I'll live with it," I have to be honest. You're wrong. You don't just live with it, you lose to it night by night. That's why you need answers. That's why you need to take control. And in a moment, I'll tell you about a simple spice, yes, just a spice, that when chewed for 60 seconds before bed, has helped many older adults cut down their nighttime trips. But before we get there, let me give you this reminder. If you're listening to me right now, and you're nodding because this is your reality, I'm asking you, subscribe to this channel. Because if you don't, you're basically telling yourself, "I'd rather struggle in silence." And if you don't subscribe, then when you're dragging yourself out of bed for the 5th time tonight, remember, you had the choice to change this. You had the chance to learn more, to prepare better, and you turned away. Don't let guilt wake you up along with your bladder. Hit subscribe, and let's do this together. Now, let's talk about the spice itself. I want you to picture a grandmother in her mid-80s, sweet woman, sharp mind, but her nights were torture. She would sit at breakfast with her children, eyes half shut, body slumped, too tired to even smile. She said, "I sleep in chapters, 2 hours here, 1 hour there. I don't remember the last time I felt truly rested." Then her daughter found this method, a simple spice. She told her, "Mama, before bed, just chew this for 1 minute." The grandmother laughed. "One spice? That's not going to undo 20 years of bad sleep." But she was desperate, so she tried. The first night she noticed nothing. The second night maybe a little difference. By the end of the week, she woke up only once. and that once was enough to let her sleep through the rest of the night. Why? Because this spice contains natural compounds that target the bladder. It helps calm the muscles, reduces irritation, and eases inflammation in the urinary tract. Think of it like smoothing out a wrinkled sheet. Where the bladder was overreacting, sending you rushing at the smallest stretch, the spice helps restore calm. And here's where people get it wrong. They think, only medications can fix this problem. That's not true. Medication is one path, but it comes with side effects, dizziness, constipation, even confusion in some cases. Nature often gives us options, and sometimes those options are safer and gentler. The trick with the spice isn't just swallowing it. You chew it, slowly, intentionally, for 60 seconds. Those oils, those natural compounds, get released directly. That's why the chewing ritual is important. 60 seconds may sound silly, but those 60 seconds can return hours to your night. But don't get me wrong, it's not magic on its own. The spice works best when your other nighttime habits support it. And if you're careless with your hydration or your evening routine, you'll sabotage yourself. So before you run to the kitchen cabinet, let's walk through the habits that either ruin your night or rescue it. Let me tell you about a man named John. Every night after dinner, he had his ritual. A big mug of tea before bed. He said it calmed him, but then midnight came, then 2, then 4. He was up again and again, cursing his bladder. He thought he was doomed, but the truth was, his bladder wasn't the problem. His timing was. Here's how it works. Your kidneys filter your blood non-stop. If you fill your system with liquids late in the evening, especially drinks with caffeine like tea or coffee, your bladder fills while you're lying in bed. It's like pouring water into a leaky bucket. Of course, it's going to demand attention. And here's the dangerous myth. If I drink less water all day, I'll avoid urination at night. Wrong. That actually makes it worse. When you deprive your body of water, your urine becomes concentrated, irritating the bladder and making it more sensitive. The result? You still wake up. The right approach is balance. Hydrate well during the day, 8 to 10 cups if your doctor hasn't restricted you. Drink steadily until about 6 p.m., then ease off. That way, by bedtime, your body has already processed most of it. So if you're guilty of sipping your favorite drink at 9 or 10 p.m., I want you to picture this. Every cup you drink late is another trip you're buying to the bathroom. And if you refuse to adjust, don't blame your bladder. Blame the glass in your hand. But hydration is just one piece. There's another hidden factor almost no one thinks about. And it's not what you drink, it's how your body holds onto fluid. That's where body position comes in. Have you ever noticed how your ankles swell by the end of the day? That's fluid pooling in your legs. When you finally lie down to sleep, gravity shifts. All that fluid moves back into circulation, and your kidneys get busy filtering it out. Suddenly, your bladder is working overtime. I once knew a woman who couldn't understand why she was waking up 3 times a night. Her doctor explained, "It's not just your bladder, it's your legs." When she started propping her legs up for 20 minutes before bed, just a gentle elevation, her nightly trips dropped in half. The science is simple. Gravity pulls fluid down all day. Lying flat redistributes it. That's why elevating your legs before bed gives your body a head start. Your kidneys process the fluid earlier, so your bladder isn't overloaded in the middle of the night. And here's the myth. Elevating your legs is only for swelling. Not true. It's also for sleep. Pair this with a lower salt evening meal, because salt makes your body hold onto water, and you'll notice a difference. So tonight, before bed, lie back, put a pillow under your legs, and let your body drain some of that extra fluid, then chew the spice. Then rest. That combination might be the first step toward reclaiming your nights, but food matters too. And this is where it gets tricky, because while some foods can irritate your bladder, one spice, the same spice we've been talking about, can actually heal. So many seniors I know try to avoid spicy foods at night. And they're right. Certain spices, like chili or pepper, can irritate the bladder. But the myth is, all spices are bad before bed. That's not true. Some actually help. The spice we've been talking about doesn't irritate. It soothes. It's anti-inflammatory. It relaxes. It helps your body settle into the night instead of staying restless. The advice here is simple. Avoid bladder irritants in the evening, things like coffee, alcohol, acidic fruits, and hot chili spices. But don't lump all spices together. The right spice, chewed slowly, could be your ally. And here's something important. Don't just add the spice and keep eating everything else recklessly. Build a bedtime diet that supports your sleep. Lighter dinners, less salt, more calming foods like bananas or warm milk, and that one spice, chewed right before you close your eyes. But beyond food, there's another factor most people ignore: your mind. And yes, stress can play a direct role in whether you sleep peacefully or whether you run to the bathroom all night. Have you ever noticed how stress tightens your chest? How worry keeps your mind racing? Well, stress doesn't just live in your head, it affects your bladder too. When you're anxious, your body produces stress hormones that heighten sensitivity, including in the bladder. That means you feel the urge to urinate even when the bladder isn't full. I remember a senior who struggled with this. She started practicing deep breathing before bed. Just 10 minutes of slow inhales and exhales. Within weeks, she noticed she wasn't waking up as often. Her bladder hadn't magically grown. It was simply calmer because her whole body was calmer. The myth says, nighttime urination has nothing to do with stress. But science proves otherwise. Stress makes everything worse, which means calming routines, gentle stretches, light reading, soft music, breathing exercises can all help. So imagine this routine. You elevate your legs, chew your spice, and spend 10 minutes in quiet breathing. That's a recipe for fewer bathroom trips, and this is where everything comes together. The spice isn't a trick on its own. It's part of a whole ritual. Let me end this section with a story of a caregiver. Her mother was waking up 4 times a night. The daughter worried constantly about her mother's fatigue, about her risk of falling, about her health slipping away. So she built a plan. She adjusted her mother's hydration, plenty of water during the day, less after dinner. She had her elevate her legs before bed. She calmed her with light music and breathing. And yes, she gave her that spice to chew every night. The result? Within weeks, her mother's nights transformed, from 4 trips to 2, from 2 to 1, sometimes none at all. And for the first time in years, her mother said, "I feel rested. I feel like myself again." That's the power of small changes: hydration timing, body position, diet adjustments, stress management, and that simple spice. Alone, each one helps. Together, they transform. And here's where I leave you with this. If you're hearing all of this, nodding along, but you still haven't subscribed, then you're quietly agreeing to keep suffering. You're agreeing to let your nights slip away, to let your mornings stay heavy, to let your risk of falling grow. And when your family sees you struggle, they'll ask, "Why didn't you do something sooner?" What will you say? That you were too busy to click a button? That's not an excuse you want to carry, so subscribe now. Comment "better sleep" if you know this struggle. And if you refuse, then at least be honest and go into the comments to explain why you'd rather keep waking up miserable instead of choosing hope. Because here's the truth: the choice is yours, to change or to stay stuck. You know, there's something most people don't say out loud, but it eats at them in silence. It's that moment in the middle of the night when you're standing in the dark, staring at the bathroom door, asking yourself quietly, "Why does my body feel like it's failing me?" That question hurts because it's not just about urination. It's not just about waking up at night. It's about the bigger picture, about dignity, about independence, about the sinking feeling that the life you once had is slipping away, piece by piece, trip by trip, stumble by stumble. And if you've ever felt that, if you've ever looked at yourself in the mirror after another sleepless night and thought, I don't even recognize this tired face anymore. Then you know the frustration, the bitterness, the sense that your body is betraying you. Maybe you don't talk about it with anyone. Maybe you laugh it off, saying, "Oh, it's just old age." But in your heart, you know it's not funny. You know it's exhausting. You know it's stealing something precious from you. And if you've ever helped your parent, your spouse, or someone you love stumble down the hallway at 2 a.m., you've felt the fear too. You've held your breath, hoping they wouldn't fall. You've waited to hear their footsteps return. And when they finally crawled back into bed, you saw the weight in their eyes, the heaviness of another night stolen. Here's the truth most people avoid saying: every broken night of sleep, every stumble in the dark, every morning spent dragging instead of rising, it chips away at the soul. Not just the body, but the soul. Because sleep isn't a luxury, it's the foundation of life. Without it, everything else begins to crack. And I want to acknowledge the fear that comes with this, because it's real. The fear of falling, the fear of becoming dependent, the fear of losing control, the fear of being a burden. These are not small fears. They are heavy, and they keep many people up at night, even after the bathroom trip is over. But I want you to hear me clearly. You are not powerless. This is not the end of your story. You may feel tired, you may feel frustrated, but you are not finished. Because small changes, simple, consistent, loving choices, still hold the power to restore balance. That one spice, chewed slowly before bed, is not just a tip. It's a symbol, a reminder that your body still responds, that your body still listens when you give it the right signals. It's your way of saying, "I'm not giving up on myself." And if you are caring for someone going through this, if you are the son, the daughter, the spouse, the caregiver, I want you to understand something deeply. Your patience, your gentle guidance, your watchful eye in the dark, it matters. It matters more than you know. Every time you steady their arm, every time you walk beside them down the hall, every time you wait and watch, that is medicine. Not the kind that comes in a bottle, but the kind that heals dignity. But let's pause and imagine something together. Close your eyes and picture it. Imagine lying down tonight. Your head sinks into the pillow. The room is calm. Hours pass. But instead of waking 4, 5, or 6 times, you stay asleep. Maybe just once you wake, and when you do, it's calm, it's steady, without panic or rushing. And then you return to bed and you actually sleep. Deep, refreshing sleep. Now imagine the morning. Not the mornings you've been having. Not the mornings where your body feels like lead and your mind feels foggy. No, imagine a morning where you stretch, where you smile, where you feel rested, clear, awake. That is not a fantasy. That is not reserved for someone else. That can be you. That can be your loved one. That can be real. But here's the harsh truth. You have to choose it. You have to decide that you will not keep suffering in silence. You have to decide that you will not keep brushing it off as just old age. Because if you don't, nothing changes. Tonight will look like last night. Tomorrow morning will feel like this morning. And the cycle continues until one night the fear you've been pushing away becomes reality. One wrong step, one fall, one injury, and life never looks the same again. And that's why I need to say this. If this video has stirred something inside you, if you've nodded, whispered, "That's me," or even felt a lump in your throat, then don't just sit back, don't just scroll away. Subscribe right now, not later, not tomorrow, right now. Because when you don't, you're choosing to stay in the same struggle. You're choosing to risk another night of fear, another day of exhaustion. And let me guilt trip you a little here, because sometimes we all need the truth said plain. If you can hear all of this, if you can recognize yourself in these words and still refuse to subscribe, then I want you to go down into the comments right now. Write it out. Write why. Tell us why you are okay with continuing to suffer. Tell us why you'd rather risk your health, your dignity, and your peace instead of clicking one small button. Tell us why you're comfortable letting your loved ones keep worrying about you. Go ahead, put it there for everyone to see. But if you can't bring yourself to write that, if deep down you know you can't justify it, then you already know what you need to do. You need to act. You need to take this step. You need to subscribe. Because this isn't just about watching a video. It's about choosing to walk toward hope, toward healing, toward nights of peace instead of nights of fear. Because let me remind you, science explains what's happening. Nature offers simple tools to restore balance. And care, your care, makes it possible. And when all three meet, dignity comes back, peace comes back, hope comes back. So no, you're not powerless. No, you're not broken. No, you're not condemned to endless nights of betrayal. You are still here. You are still capable. You are still worthy of rest, of dignity, of mornings filled with light instead of heaviness. The choice is yours. Take a deep breath with me right now. Inhale slowly. Exhale gently. We've walked a long road together in this video. A road through sleepless nights, stumbling footsteps, frustrating mornings, and that nagging feeling that your body has betrayed you. But we didn't stop at the pain. We searched for solutions, and we found them. Let's remind ourselves of what we uncovered tonight. We began with that simple spice, something so ordinary, yet so powerful, chewed for just 60 seconds before bed. We learned how it can calm the bladder, soothe irritation, and help bring back those peaceful hours of uninterrupted rest. We explored hydration timing, how drinking earlier in the day while easing off at night gives your body the relief it needs to stay balanced. We looked at posture, elevating your legs, shifting pressure, and helping your body work with you instead of against you. We uncovered diet tweaks, the small food choices that can either stir up the bladder or calm it down. We embraced relaxation, breathing, stretching, releasing stress, so your body doesn't keep sounding false alarms in the dark. 5 simple steps, 5 threads that, when woven together, create something powerful. Not perfection, not magic, but progress, peace, relief. Now here's where I need to stop and ask you something very important. What are you going to do with this knowledge? Will you let it slip away like so many nights already have? Or will you use it? Because information without action is just another burden. But when you act, when you chew that spice, when you adjust your habits, when you subscribe to this channel and truly walk this journey, you take your power back. And let's be brutally honest here, because you deserve the truth. If you've sat here for nearly 2 hours, hearing this message, nodding along, whispering, "That's me," under your breath, and you still choose to do nothing, then what are you saying to yourself? What are you saying to your loved ones? That your peace doesn't matter? That your safety doesn't matter? That your dignity can wait? No, that can't be the message you leave with tonight. Not after all we've shared, not after staring truth in the face. So I'll put it plainly. Subscribe to Elderly Spring right now, not later, not tomorrow, right now. Because every video here is crafted for you, for your health, your rest, your safety, your dignity. And if you don't click that button, if you don't stay with us, you're choosing to walk back into the same restless nights, the same risks, the same silent suffering. And if you truly believe you don't need this, then go down to the comments right now and explain it. Write it out. Tell us why you're okay with sleepless nights. Tell us why you're comfortable with stumbling in the dark. Tell us why you'd rather risk a fall that could change your life forever than simply clicking subscribe. Go ahead. We'll wait. And I promise you, when you see your own words written back at you, you may realize just how hollow that excuse feels. But if you can't bring yourself to write that, then deep down, you already know the truth. You know you need this. You know you belong here. You know this community is where healing begins. So take the step. Subscribe, stay, grow with us. Now let me also remind you of something special. The Elderly Spring Sleep Wellness Kit. It's waiting for you in the description. It's not just a product, it's a roadmap, a companion for your nights. Everything we talked about tonight, the spice, the habits, the routines, It's all there, woven together in a clear, simple plan you can follow day after day. If you truly want to transform your nights, not just tonight, but every night forward, this is your chance. Don't pass it by. Get your copy, and let me leave you with this picture. Imagine your life 6 months from now. Imagine lying down at night and not dreading the hours ahead. Imagine falling asleep and staying asleep, maybe waking once, maybe not at all. Imagine mornings where you stretch, smile, and feel energy flowing through your body again. Imagine your loved ones looking at you, relieved, knowing you're safe, knowing you're rested. Imagine dignity restored. That's what's at stake here. Not just sleep, not just convenience, but dignity, safety, peace, life itself. So, my friend, the choice is in your hands. You can walk away. Let tonight be just another restless night, and tomorrow another tired morning. Or you can choose change. You can subscribe. You can comment. You can grab the kit. You can act. The road is open. The tools are here. The hope is alive. And now it's up to you. Thank you, truly, for walking this journey with me. Thank you for your time, your courage, your heart. This is Elderly Spring, and together, we're building not just a channel, but a family that refuses to settle for less than dignity, health, and peace in the later years of life. So stay with us, stay hopeful, stay strong, and remember, peaceful nights are not behind you. They are ahead, waiting for you to claim them. Until next time, sleep well, live well, and know you are never alone.